Let's bring in our correspondent, Rula Amin. She's joining us from neighboring Beirut. Rula, we'll talk about what's happening on the ground in just a moment. First, bring us up to speed with that meeting that's been taking place with the Arab League.
What we know is that the Arab League delegation did meet with President Assad. So far, we have not seen any comment from the Syrian government on what their response was to the Arab ministers who met with President Assad, who demanded, as they had said before they arrived to Damascus they would, that the crackdown ends, that all detainees who were arrested in the past few months released, and that the government should start immediately a comprehensive national dialogue with the opposition. And all that should happen before the end of the month. This is what the Arab League wants. Now, will the Syrian government be willing to engage in such a deal? We don't know. We have heard from the opposition, who had already said the only thing they are willing to discuss with the government is a transfer of power. And that's not something that we heard the government, any indication that the government is willing to do.
And ahead of that meeting that you were just telling us about, there was a pro-Assad rally in the capital, Damascus.
Yes, obviously, both sides, the government and the opposition today, were flexing their muscles. In the capital, Damascus, we saw thousands of people. According to Syrian television, 2 million people converged on Omayyad mosque, and they were there for hours, showing support for President Assad, rejecting any international intervention, showing that all of Syria is united, and that not all of Syrians want the regime to be toppled. On another end, the opposition called for a general strike, and in many cities in Syria that general strike was observed. We saw pictures of streets and shops being closed, streets deserted, and in some areas more demonstrations and more killings, especially in the town of Homs. This has been the scene of very bloody clashes in the past few weeks, and today as well, including a 1.5-year-old child who was killed with her father. Activists say she was killed in her home when shells fell on the home. That shelling, of course, took place by the security forces. Another significant development is that we are hearing now increasing reports of attacks on the Syrian military. And what's interesting is that now we are hearing these reports from the opposition, not from the government. Before, the opposition completely denied and refuted any claims from the government that the security is being attacked by gunmen. Now we're hearing more acknowledgement from the opposition that there are such attacks. We heard of one attack yesterday that killed 7 soldiers, and another attack this morning of 11 soldiers near Hama. So it seems the situation on the ground is deteriorating very fast, and maybe the Arab League won't have much of a chance to bring the two sides to the table again.
All right, very interesting. Thank you very much. Rula Amin from Beirut.